everyone, I'm Danielle, and I am going to do my third video in a couple days. Actually, I think it's my fourth. I think technically yesterday I didn't make videos. I'm in my living room again. I know it's not much of a YouTube studio, and you get to see my little kitty cats in the background, so that's kind of exciting. I don't, something's going on. Oh, that's that side. There we go. It's like a reverse camera angle here. So I tried a little bit today. Can't say I did much, but I will say that it doesn't matter. And I wanted to read Matthew. So we're going to pick up where we left off. All right. Okay, so if you remember, the last part we were talking about is whenever Yeshua put the devils into the swine and they ran off the cliff. So actually, I think it was at Matthew 8:33. And they that kept them and they that kept them fled. And when they went their ways into the city, and told everything and what was befallen to the possessed of the devils. Wow, I'm struggling to read today. That's crazy. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they besought him that he would depart out of their coasts. Okay, so I realize the progress. I don't have my glasses on. All right, so here we go. We are at Matthew 9 now. And he entered into a ship and passed over and came into his own city. And behold, they brought to him a man sick of the palsy, lying on a bed. And Jesus, seeing their faith, said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, be of good cheer, thy sins be forgiven thee. And behold, certain of the scribes said within themselves, This man blasphemeth. And Jesus, knowing their thoughts, said, Wherefore think ye evil in your hearts? For whether is easier to say, Thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, Arise and walk? But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins. Then saith he to the sick of the palsy, Arise, take up thy bed, and go unto thine house. And he arose, and departed to his house. But when the multitude saw it, they marveled, and glorified God, which had given such power unto men. And as Jesus passed forth from thence, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of custom, and he saith unto him, Follow me. And he arose and followed him. And it came to pass, as Jesus sat at meat in the house, behold, many publicans and sinners came and sat down with him and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto his disciples, Why eateth your master with publicans and sinners? But when Jesus heard that, he said unto them, They that be whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. But go ye and learn what that meaneth. I will have mercy and not sacrifice, for I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. Whew. So, I find it really interesting, the part that he said, for whether is easier to say, Thy sins be forgiven, or to say, Arise and walk. But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins. So I find that really awesome because, we're taught to forgive people, and we will be forgiven. And if we don't forgive people, we will not be forgiven. And so we have the power to forgive people on earth. And, he's saying it right there as well. Now you might take it as only Jesus has the power to forgive people, but that's not true, because Jesus said, if you don't forgive people, then I won't forgive you. I'm going to hold you to the same status, to the same bits of the law as you're going to hold other people to it. So you got to stand up for what you believe in, and you got to hold steady. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, let's continue. Then came to him the disciples of John, saying, Why do we and the Pharisees fast oft, but thy disciples fast not? And Jesus said unto them, Can the children of the bride chamber mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken from them, and then shall they fast. No man putteth a piece of new cloth unto an old garment, for that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse. Neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved. While he spake these things unto them, behold, there came a certain ruler, and worshipped him, saying, My daughter is even now dead, but come and lay thy hand upon her, and she shall live. And Jesus arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him, and touched the hem of his garment. For she said within herself, if I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole. But Jesus turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, Daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. And when Jesus came into the ruler's house and saw the minstrels and the people making a noise, he said unto them, Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. But when the people were put forth, he went in, and took her by the hand, and the maid arose. And the fame hereof went abroad into all that land. And when Jesus departed thence, two blind men followed him, crying and saying, Thou son of David, have mercy on us. And when he was come into the house, the blind men came to him. And Jesus saith unto them, Believe ye that I am able to do this? They said unto him, Yea, Lord. Then touched he their eyes, saying, According to your faith be it unto you. And their eyes were opened, and Jesus straitly charged them, saying, See that no man know it. But they, when they were departed, spread abroad his fame in all that country. As they went out, behold, they brought to him a dumb man possessed with a devil. And when the devil was cast out, the dumb spake. And the multitudes marveled, saying, It was never so seen in Israel. But the Pharisees said, He casteth out devils through the prince of the devils. And Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues, and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted, and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Then saith he unto his disciples, The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. Now the names of the 12 apostles are these: the first, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew his brother, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew the publican, James the son of Alphaeus, and Lebbaeus, whose surname was Thaddeus. Now, I find that interesting because who's ever heard of um, Lebbaeus, or whose surname was Thaddeus? I mean, who is that? And I mean, really, have you ever heard of Philip or Bartholomew? And for that matter, Thomas, because they're not in the Gospels, right? So why are they not in the Gospels? Because they took them out. So what I find super interesting is here we have disciples of Jesus that are walking around and they took their stories out. So they took Judas out, and everybody said, "Well, they didn't want Judas in there because of, how bad Judas was or whatever." But there is a Gospel of Judas. It's not in there. There's a Gospel of Thomas, which is one of my favorites. Um, so it's just really, really interesting that they don't have these other things in there. But yet they have a ton of stuff by Paul. His stuff doesn't really line up with what Jesus says. I mean, I guess, I'm waiting for somebody to just kind of stand up and say, hey, no, that's not true. But it is because, I mean, I would love to have this discussion. So I kind of feel like I'm a little bit unanswered, like, what's that about? I mean, sure, some of the stuff is beautiful. Yeah, anything can be beautiful. Anybody can write lovely words. Do I know if for sure that it's good? I do believe the Bible has amazing things. I believe it has secrets that unfold within its pages. I believe that it can get you to get outside of your head and search and find the answers and seek. But we're not getting the whole story. And it's really frustrating. So there goes my phone again. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that there's something nefarious going on here? Simon the Canaanite and Judas Iscariot, who also betrayed him. So, we have these 12 guys, and basically you hear of four, maybe five, and that's it. You don't hear anything else. You have to dig and dig for these answers. I mean, there's like no other interaction. And you're thinking, well, why isn't there any other interaction? Because you hear about Mary Magdalene, you hear about Mary. Well, you say, oh, okay, that's Mary Magdalene, Mary. Sure, yeah, but these are the 12 men. These men walked around with him, and they were given the power to cast out devils, and they were doing all this stuff, and they were like learning from him, and they were the first people to, excuse me, follow him. And it's just, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird, right? It kind of sucks. Like, could you imagine you're with Jesus, you're hanging out with Jesus, you're like, okay, um, your claim to fame is hanging out with Jesus, of course. I mean, obviously, but I'm saying that that's it. You're not mentioned at all anything else. So anything that you were supposed to talk about with Jesus is now null and void because you know it's I don't know. It just seems to me it seems a little different. I kind of feel like there should be more. I'm going to stop because my phone will not stop ringing and it is all the way in this other room. So I'm going to have to stop and I'm very sorry, but I hope you guys have a great day. Keep, keep me on my toes here. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.